why a Honda Accord? Why not get something bigger like a minivan or a sprinter van or a transit van or an RV or a truck camper or a Subaru or literally anything bigger than a Honda Accord? Trust me, I see your comments. And also, trust me, I've been looking at vehicles on Facebook Marketplace for longer than I've been living in my car, okay? So it's on the mind. I do know that it is possible to get a different vehicle. Thank you. But these are the 10 reasons that I absolutely adore having a small car camper in a tiny sedan. Number one, and probably most importantly, it's the car that I already own and it's completely paid off. I bought it in cash in 2020 before the car market went to crap. And that, I feel like, is priceless, not having a vehicle payment every month, because I honestly don't know how people take out loans on vans and have $600 per month van payments and then go out on the road and don't have a stable income. Like, yeah, sure, you can create content, but that's not like a stable income. So, or you can do gig jobs, but that's not stable income. So, or you can do seasonal gigs, but that's not stable income. So, for my anxiety, I don't think I could have a car payment. And if and when I do upgrade, I don't want to have a car payment, which is why I'm taking so long to upgrade. Because for me, that is my priority. Number two, I also really prioritize having a reliable vehicle because my first car was a Chrysler and basically died with like 35,000 miles on it. And I was left without a reliable vehicle during COVID in a town where everybody that I knew had already gone home because of COVID. So that also wasn't fun for my anxiety, and I really just wanted to have a car that I knew would drive really well and be reliable and not die on me like my Chrysler did. So that's why I was only looking at Hondas and Toyotas. I wasn't being picky. I just wanted to be able to buy it in cash and have it be a Honda or Toyota and under 100,000 miles. Those were my criteria when I was shopping. Number three is the ease of maintenance on the car. Like, as long as you just get routine maintenance done, the only other things that I've ever had to get done on it were driver's error, not the car. So it's super easy maintenance, and also every mechanic has probably seen a Honda Accord. So you're not going to end up stranded out in the middle of nowhere and get towed to the tiny town that's closest nearby to have the mechanic tell you that he doesn't work on German vehicles. You know? Like, I'm good. I like having a car that can be worked on by anybody. Number four, it has great drivability. Like, you're just driving a normal passenger car. You can park in any parking spot, has great turn radius, and it also has some giddy up and go on the freeway, which is something that larger RVs and vans do not have. Even with all of the weight that I have in my car, which I find very shocking. Also, it's a V4, but I swear she drives better than my V6 Chrysler. Number five is great gas mileage. I don't know my city versus highway off the top of my head, but I can tell you that it is great. It is much better than you will get in a truck camper or a van or an RV. And I really love keeping my expenses low, and one of those expenses is gas. So having a gas efficient vehicle. When I was vehicle shopping in 2020, I did look at a Prius. I was talked out of it by my family because of the cost of the batteries, which may or may not have regrets on, but moral of the story, I would have still been car camping in a small car camper. It just would have been even more gas efficient. Number six is the stealth ability. Nobody looks at a Honda Accord and thinks someone's living in that, you know? Versus a van with solar panels and a max air fan, like, obviously it's being used for sleeping. So I really enjoy how stealthy my car is, especially because I'm not always out in pretty places like this. Like, I do a lot of pet sitting, and that forces me to be in cities a lot, and so sometimes I have to stealth car camp in cities, and it's really nice having a regular old Honda Accord that is not sus to be parked on the side of the road, you know? The only thing that really stands out about my car are my homemade window coverings, which I have a YouTube video on how I made them, if you're curious. But other than that, if the trunk is closed and all of the doors are closed, it kind of just looks like a regular car. And when I first started car camping in this car, I don't think I realized how much I would appreciate that. How much you can fly under the radar, as to say. Number 7, I think similar to stealth ability, but more specifically, the ability to go directly from the driver's seat into bed without exiting the vehicle. I want a 4x4 truck camper so badly, but the thing that prevents me from getting one is A, money, and B, you have to exit the driver's seat and walk around to get into the truck camper. Which, if I wasn't by myself, maybe that wouldn't be as big of a deal, but a lot of the traveling that I do is by myself. I go pet sit by myself. And so having a vehicle as a solo female where I can stay inside after I'm done driving for the day and go directly into bed while it's not convenient to climb over the center console is possible. More possible than squeezing through the back window into a truck camper. So, yeah. Number 8 is it forces me to get out more. Now, yes, I can go from driver's seat to bed easily, stealthily, but unless I want to be sitting in my driver's seat or sitting in my bed, I have to get out of the vehicle. And while this will be one of the things that I also hate, I do really appreciate that it forces me to go outside and find a shady tree and sit in my hammock for the afternoon, or go into a cafe and work on my computer in public and interact with people in that way instead of just being a hermit in my house. It forces me to move my body more because, yeah, I do wake up stiff in a tiny car, but I walk a lot. I go on hikes. I go outside. I do yoga. Like, I move my body because of that. Like, it forces me to do these things that I know are good for me that I might not do otherwise, you know? Number 9 is it forces me to be minimal and really prioritize what I need versus what I want, because I really only have space for what I need. Now, I will say, if you haven't seen my car tour, this video is probably very confusing, but I will link that in the cards here if you want to go see my car tour. But I do have a lot in my car. I have 4 seasons worth of clothes. I have a full kitchen. I have a pantry full of food. I have an ice chest. I have a home office. I have a solar power generator. I have solar power, solar panels. Like, it's a lot of stuff, but it's all stuff that I need. And I'm not just buying random crap off the internet just because it looks cool. Like, I have to think, where is this gonna go? And if I don't have a place for it, then I'm not getting it. Or if it is a priority and I want to get it, well, guess what? Kind of got to get rid of some other things and go through things. And yeah, I'm constantly going through everything that I have, and especially my clothes. Like, I love thrift shopping while I'm traveling, but obviously I can't keep everything all the time. So I do have to sift through my wardrobe and donate things from time to time in order to make space for new things. But if I had more space, then I wouldn't need to do that, you know? So even with vans and RVs and campers, I feel like you can have a lot more comforts or wants than I have in my Honda. So yeah, it forces me to prioritize what's necessary and be minimal, which also helps me save money, which we all know that I love. And my 10th favorite thing is similar to minimalism. It forces me to live simply, which I feel like in today's day and age with like social media, we're always seeing what we don't have and wanting more. And it's like, no, this is the car camper that I have right now. And living simply isn't that bad. Now, some people could never car camp because they need their own private toilet and air conditioning. And like, yeah, go ahead, get an RV. But for me, I really actually enjoy living simply. And I also think that my seasonal job working in White Sands and tent camping 4 days a week also really helped me appreciate living simply and makes you realize that you don't really need that much. Like, I have everything I need to survive in my Honda Accord for 2 years now. So far so good, right? But anyways, what are the 4 things that I don't like about having such a tiny car camper? 1, first and foremost, low clearance. I hate not being able to drive down any dirt road that I see. And that, like, freedom and exploration part of me, like, really wants to go down these roads. And I'm very good about not taking my car on sketchy roads that it shouldn't go on because I don't want to cause damage. But yeah, that is something that I really wish back in the day I had gotten like Honda CRV or Honda something lifted or a Toyota RAV4. Like, yeah, just a little bit more clearance would be nice. Number two is definitely the lack of space, especially space to hang out and like get away from the sun or get away from the rain. Um, it's either sit in my bed, sit in the driver's seat, or find a shady tree, or go into like a public business or something and like work on my computer or work out at the gym or occupy myself, because you can't just like chill inside during the day versus like a van. If you have fans and windows and you can get air circulation going, you can kind of walk around your van during the day and like do everything you need to do in that little space. So that is a downside. I can't do everything I need to do within the confines of my car. I do have to get out and access my trunk a lot. So especially if it's like really sunny and really hot or raining, that is very difficult. Number three is the lack of privacy. I mean, if I want something out of my trunk, I have to open my trunk, and then everyone can see that my trunk is packed to the brim full of stuff, which is not like normal, I think, for cars. So people are usually like, eh? Especially when I'm like leaving the grocery store and putting my groceries away in my ice chest, people are usually like, what? Like, are you going camping? I'm like, well, yes, I am, but I also live in here. I don't tell people that. But yeah, I feel like when you have a van or a camper or an RV, you can just go inside and close the doors and do whatever you want to do, and like people can't look in at all of your crap. Versus me, like, also if I want to get an outfit or get clothes, I either have to do that from my bed before I get up in the morning, or I'm standing outside of the backseat door, like digging into my like drawers and pulling my underwear out, and it's just kind of like, it's fine. But sometimes the lack of privacy is a lot. And last but not least, the fourth thing that I don't like about having such a tiny car camper is the judgment from both people outside of the community, but also in the community. This might just be me and my anxiety and my comment sections of people thinking that I'm on the struggle bus for being in my car, but yet if someone's in a van, they're praised and put on a pedestal. It's like we're doing the same thing, and yet just because I have a small car, I'm like automatically a struggling poor person in people's minds. Like it's like a preconceived bias, I think, that people have, and they're not even like aware of it. Same thing within the community. I always see like van lifers hanging out and meeting up and showing off their rigs and comparing vans. And it's like, yeah, there is a car camping community, yes, but I sometimes feel like there's not all the time, but sometimes there's like a snobbish, turn up the nose at the car campers. And like, you're not invited kind of thing. So that's not to say that there aren't welcoming places in the community. There's definitely meetups that welcome any sort of rig and are super welcoming to all kinds of people, and that's amazing. And that's what I love about the community, is like the acceptance and openness to all types of people. But sometimes I do feel like the van life community can be kind of snobby, or the RV community, especially the old, don't say that. And again, like, not even consciously, it's just like a preconceived bias, and I don't really enjoy that. But also, I don't think you should have to upgrade your vehicle in order to fit in, and you can be accepted just as you are in the vehicle that you already have if you want to. So that's kind of why I make videos, is like, you don't need a fancy van. You can just kind of take the car that you already have and go do your thing. If you are a fellow vehicle dweller, I'm curious, what kind of car do you camp out of? Leave it down in the comments. I want to see what kind of variety we have here. Also, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below because that really helps me out. And I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye guys!